Adam, state is done, and it's safe to say that you put the show in show skiing.
Well, that's why we call this podcast The Ski Show.
It's showtime. This is The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast, and your one and only source for all things show skiing, bringing you news, knowledge, and interviews with the legends and stars of our sport. Here are your hosts, Jack Heilman and Adam Shelly.
Welcome to the Ski Show, still the only media on the planet dedicated to the sport of show skiing. We have just returned from the largest water ski show tournament in the world, the Wisconsin State Show Ski Championships. Adam and I are in undisclosed locations in central Wisconsin. And today we're going to recap all the action for you, talk to all the show directors from the winning teams in all three divisions.
And today's sponsors are Plum Skis, custom-made jump skis and featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. Get yours at plymandskis.com and by the Board Shop. All your summer and winter sports gear is yours at bswake.com.
Before we dive into the state tournament, let's briefly talk about the Central Regional, which was held just the week before. As we predicted, Wonder Lake won that big. They won by about 250 points over the Lake City Skiers, and they swept every major award aside from pickup boat.
Yeah, congratulations to Wonder Lake, a big win for them. And, as we had talked about on the previous podcast, they have been doing theme shows since day one. I know they've kind of struggled with, like a lot of other teams, kind of being on and off the water due to high water. But, brought home the hardware at Centrals.
They did. They're going to be a contender at Nationals. Going to be fun. Congrats to Paige Pashina and Scott Vandeveer, both of Chippewa Lake, for winning Best Male and Best Female Skiers of the tournament. Really looking forward to seeing the Central Regional teams at Nationals. And remember, if you haven't heard, which I'm sure you have, Nationals will now be held in Warsaw, Indiana, home of the Lake City Skiers, rather than in Loves Park, Illinois, due to the crazy high water problems that plaguing Midwest teams everywhere. State weekend, Adam. Let's dive in. Looking back, how was the weekend?
State was great. Got up there Thursday, so kind of Thursday and Friday or big social hour. And this year we chose to ski Sunday morning first thing, because then it's bit us in the butt the last couple of years having weather delays Saturday evening. But as it goes, this weekend, the weekend was absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
Weather-wise. No delays, no high winds. The water was fantastic for all shows. From a weather standpoint, it was a great weekend. And Saturday, rather than getting kind of ready for our show Saturday evening, we all had the chance to meet earlier in the day and then sit down and watch the last three shows of the day, which was the Aquanuts, and then it was Beaverland, correct?
Yep, correct.
And then ending with the Rock Aqua Jays, who, man, for a team that has not been at their site for a long time, they skied really clean. Holy smokes.
That was super impressive. And you're right, like state weekend, picking your skiing slot is interesting. We've gone late on Saturday the last few years. That can be a risk because at Wazicha, if you get those afternoon westerly winds whipping in, the water can kick up, and you get calm water in the morning for sure. We went morning. But like you said, it was glass all weekend for all teams. Picture perfect weekend. Like you said, RAJ stomped it. And to be frank, I was absolutely shocked that we ended up coming away with the victory. It was, having watched the way they executed that show, knowing that we had a handful more falls, miscalculated clearly in our assumption, and we're our own harshest critics, aren't we, when we come to our own show? And we don't even see all of our own show. You do. I'm out on different barges and don't even see it all or have a perfect feel for it, but felt like, due to their execution, we might not have enough to overcome it, and we did, and it was exciting to say the least.
Yeah, I think watching their show, we've never really been a team that's been affected by like how teams have done before us, and that's still the case. But I think there was a little. I think expectations weren't that high for RIJ coming into it just because of not having a site, but they skied great, and just from an execution standpoint, they did fantastic. And I think we kind of compared our show to theirs just based on, they had less falls than we did. But, once you get this, yes, we were surprised to win. But once you sit down and you really look at the scores, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that jives. That makes sense.
It makes sense. We thrived in the areas we typically thrive in. We had a high difficulty show. It was a really good show. Watching it back in hindsight, it was fantastic. And so, fun weekend. I watched a ton of shows this weekend. Really cool to see. Like skiing Sunday, it was great because I watched a lot of shows Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon as well when we were done cleaning up. Clear to me, Badgerland and Shawano both probably belong in Division 1. Badgerland we're going to talk to in a minute and talk about. But both of those teams would probably be right in the mix in the middle of Division 1. They're large teams, talented teams, strong teams. That was fun to see. The teams who were off the water due to high water issues really performed well. Like we already mentioned the Rock Aqua Jays, but there are several others. The Web Footers had a nice show. They've been off the water for a while. Kudos to all those teams. There's a few things that I loved seeing. The Water Walkers had this killer skit. I think we're going to talk about it with the podcast awards, Adam. It was a Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy skit with a bunch of dudes with stick horses, and it did a whole bunch of mashup song and dance. It was freaking hilarious. I loved it. And that goes to your heart, right? Great skits on land that are hilarious.
Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
It's good
stuff. And, the stars came to shine. The talented skiers throughout the shows in multiple divisions really did well. And so, fun weekend all around. As always, state's awesome. Well, let's recap the individual results quickly here. Open swivel, top-notch swivel talent. There were only a couple of falls through the entire competition of swivel. First place was Josie Smirchek. Second place, Maggie Kelly. Third place, Grace Petzold. Open doubles. First place once again to Corey Krivitz and Kim Stoner. Awesome job. A very close second place to Zeke Teat and Michaela Baisley. Well done. And third place went to Kyle Karbowski and Ashley Wimmer. Team jump, Muskego Waterbugs took the crown. Mad City was second. RAJ was third. In pairs swivel, the champs were Kaylee Koehler and Gabby Tashwer. Second place was Grace Petzold and Kayla Coffey. And third place was Lexi and Brooke Gunderson. Women's freestyle. Adam, 4 different girls made inverts out of 6 competitors in women's freestyle.
Women, I mean, excuse the pun, but women's freestyle is just ramping up. Like it is getting exponentially better. It seems like every competitions. 4 inverts.
There were flips.
Awesome.
There were gainers. Sarah Fedorowicz made a gainer. I got to imagine it's one of the first gainers in competition for a female. Close battle. They also made 1-ski fronts. Josie Smirchek made a 1-ski front and a 2-ski flip. She took first place. Sarah Fedorowicz made a 1-ski front and a 2-ski gainer. She took second place. And our very own Presley Cup and Gabby Tash took home third and fourth place, respectively. Open freestyle. Cale Duquesne stomped it. Man, that dude is talented. He took first place. And father and son duo, second and third. Eric Berglund took second, and Brett Berglund took third. You all can debate whether that was the right order of finish. I heard some chatter in the beer tent after, but we'll let father and son hash that out. We won't, but kudos to both of them. Adam, before we dive into our team results and our interviews with the winning show directors, let's talk about another winning team, the Board Shop.
Yeah, that's right. These guys are show skiers, and they have an amazing business that sells all the summer and winter board sports gear you would ever want. Apparel, boards, binding, skis, vests, and so much more.
Yeah, they've got a beautiful shop in Lake Geneva that you guys got to see. Get yourself there if you can. It's going to be great to see the Rishlings at Nationals. They're going to be there. They're going to take care of all of your equipment needs, whether it's your summer needs, your winter needs as you're looking ahead. Visit their shop or find them online at bswake.com. That's bswake.com. All right, time to recap the team event at Wisconsin State. We're going to start with Division 3. First of all, Twin Bridge won. They won a box score. The Quahamets won a couple of box scores. And the Plum Ski-ters won a few box scores and big awards as well. Kind of spread out there in some of the box scores. Best male and female skiers were both from the Plum Ski-ters. Dan Emerson and Kate Drager, congrats to them. They were standouts in their show. And in the team event, in first place was the Plum Ski-ters, winning by about 50 points over the second place Badwater Ski-ters. Time to welcome to the show the winning show director from your Division 3 state champion Plum Ski-ters, Adam Koehler. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Man, exciting time for the Plum Ski-ters. So cool to see you guys take home that crown. Talk us through that victory. Did you guys expect it? Was it a goal? Was it a surprise? Talk us through the victory.
So I think we went into the year I went into the year aiming for that. We have that normal like Division 3, Division 2 split. Like, do we want to be competing for first or do we want to be competing for middle kind of thing? So that's always the sentiment. But we got second last year, so the hope was to push that envelope again, essentially. And we were hopeful, but we had quite a few injuries and kind of people not coming back. So we didn't know how it was going to go, essentially, going into the tournament.
Well, it went the right way. And Adam, how long has it been since you guys have won a championship?
I have no idea. We in 2016 we were bumped down to D, so we lost D2 in 2016, and so that's when we were bumped down to D3, and then we've been there ever since. So till next year.
And it's been a while. I mean, I was talking to Kate Drager a little bit, and I don't know. She said it's been at least 20 years that since you guys have won a tournament championship of some sort. Not sure how long, but how awesome is it for this? I mean, so talk us through your show just a little bit. What stood out in your show? What were the strengths that helped carry you guys through to that top place?
So we emphasized a little more production this year with our Buddy the Elf holiday extravaganza, Christmas in July kind of set up, and that was carried by Kate's costume designs, definitely. And then getting people involved in that kind of production aspect is a little bit easier with that kind of theme. And so we kind of knew we were going to have smaller numbers than last year. So we had to emphasize the free points, the showmanship, the production, and then concentrate on things like getting Dan out there, skiing clean, Dan Emerson, and then Kate and Jack together, kind of emphasizing where we can, and then getting the free points where we can't get the difficulty with missing some people like Joe Kothe and Van Kothe, and that have been staples over the years.
Sounds like a recipe for success. Adam Schaller and I talk about it all the time. Like, get the free points, your production. I really enjoyed your production. I loved the winter theme. I loved some of the props you guys had. The costuming was super cool. And then highlight your talent. Like, utilize the talent to the best of your ability, and it's a recipe for success.
Yeah, so that's what we tried. We knew we had smaller numbers, and then with injuries, even smaller numbers than we expected. So just skiing clean and trying to maintain that flow with the skiing clean aspect is important when you don't have necessarily that degree of difficulty to put out there constantly.
Well, Adam, are you guys ready for Division 2?
I would say half of us are. So it's a mixed bag. Everybody's really excited about winning, and that was really, really fun. The way our show ended with Pyramid kind of blowing up, we didn't really expect it. So when we won, everybody was really excited. That's a high point, and we know that if we put the effort in, we can be in that top half, that middling of Division II, but it does take effort on the collective because of the show production aspects, because we can't compete with 5 boat shows and 4 boat shows and things like that. So we have to emphasize where we can and do what we can well, and kind of lean into that. And that would be the plan, hopefully going forward, starting with this year, kind of emphasizing what we can do well.
That's awesome. Do you guys plan to attend D2 Nationals?
Yeah, so we plan on attending. We've always tried to, as Plum, whenever it's in Wisconsin, get there. We were consistent with that with Tomahawk, and then we went to the first time it was Shawano, and we kind of just don't remember that tournament. We had like 7 injuries in the first 2 acts, so we're hoping everything goes a lot better this time around. But yeah, we have 3 people, I think, competing, 3 doubles pairs competing in individuals, and then our team will go to the team competition as well.
Good for you guys. Well, congrats to you and all the Plum Ski-ters. Way to go. What an awesome tournament championship. Good luck at D2 Nationals,
Yes.
and thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you. It was a really fun tournament. I enjoyed all the shows that I watched, and it was fun. It was fun to get out there and ski well and ski clean as a fun Christmas theme.
Congratulations and good luck at Nationals. Thanks,
Thank you.
Adam.
All right, Adam, let's move on to Division 2. This was a fun division to watch, I got to say, as we talked about on the tournament season preview podcast. Badgerland and Shawano were standout teams. They were head and shoulders above the rest. A lot of fun shows, a lot of creativity, big numbers at the top of D2. Some really fun stuff. The best male and female skiers awarded. Best male went to Ben Walker from the Ski Sprites. Best female was Lexi Galang from the Water Walkers. Badgerland took home 6 of the 7 box scores. The Aqua Skiers won dock and equipment. And in the team event, in first place with a score of 1420 was Badgerland. Second place with 1360 was the Shawano Ski Sharks. There was quite a gap to third place. The Aqua Skiers took third, Water Walkers fourth, and Southern Wakes United, who moved up from Division 3 last year, they took the crown, took 5th out of 9 teams in Division 2. Time to introduce the show directors from Division 2 state champions, Badgerland, husband and wife team Shelly, Pliml, and Neil Berens. Congrats, guys, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Shelly, where's your voice?
Yep, just like Ariel, I lost my voice. It's been a busy long weekend. A lot of cheering, a lot of organizing, and definitely came out with less of a voice.
State weekend will do that to you for sure.
Yes, it
Shelly,
will.
you and I spoke a few times this off season. You guys were committed to being better, committed to enhancing your show, and there was no secret that you guys wanted to get back to Division 1. Talk about that process and talk about the feeling of winning that Division 2 state championship.
Yeah, so as you know, last year was a bit of a blow to us. We were show directors last year, and we had our whole theme of, making Badgerland great again. Paul Dross was our fearless leader that Neil and I both grew up wanting to be just like and make him proud. And when we lost him, we stepped up to the role and didn't want to crash the bus, so to speak. And last year, we had some equipment malfunctions that left us feeling pretty devastated where we were at. And so this year, we worked tirelessly to do justice to the theme that we had worked so hard on, and our team has been working incredibly hard, seeking feedback from people such as yourself, Matt, from Jeff Hankey, from Debbie Farah, from judges, from Dan Jaws, from everybody that are our mentors, really to try to prove that we do belong in D1 and that we are a team that's on the rise to get back to the Badgerland that we used to be, and that Neil and I inspired us as upcoming show skiers to be part of. So it's been quite the ride, and we're still, I think it hasn't even sunk in, because we didn't expect it, but we sure were really hoping for it.
That's awesome. Have you guys continued to struggle with site issues?
Yes.
Yes.
We don't have a site.
You don't have a site. How do you win a state championship without a site? What have you guys been doing?
Yeah, so I think it speaks to the incredible, I guess, resilience of our team. We literally ski practices at team members' houses on different various lakes in our area. We're kind of like a traveling carnival. Every single day for practice, it's who's bringing floaters to create a dock, and are we even going to have enough manpower to have a jump there, let alone a jump team? We're all over the place. We do road shows as our practices. We ski in triangles. We don't ever get to land. So Saturday was the first time that anyone landed anything in our show. It's been pretty interesting, but we work together. We band together. We've been, I think, as a board of directors, working even harder, even as hard as on our show, on trying to get the backing of our community so that we hopefully can find a home site to call, Badgerland's home. But it's been an incredibly humbling experience, just because by the time we get to the point that we get to ski, hours have gone by that people just show up and have a site. I think don't realize the difficulty that goes into that.
Sounds like it's a fascinating journey that you guys have gone on, because those of us who have been in the sport a long time remember Badgerland from its heyday. Some of our younger listeners, quite frankly, don't. If the early to mid 90s, late 90s, Badgerland, perennial state champions, standing on top, one of the biggest, best, strongest teams, legendary skiers, Paul Dross, as you mentioned. Like, we remember the heydays of Badgerland, and then you've kind of gone on this roller coaster, right? And probably for you would say the bottom of the roller coaster was last year, getting bumped down to Division One, and it must be tremendously satisfying to move back up from Division Two to Division One, and now continue that trajectory back to where you want to get, back to where Badgerland used to be, I imagine, huh?
Absolutely. And we said this to the team, but, we want to ride this momentum to, be really proud and a little bit of that taste of success, pat on the back, but not to stop there. We've now earned the right to compete against the teams that are in Division One, and we have a lot of work to do to continue to climb and grow and redevelop to get where we need to be. So I think for us, most of our members, Neil and I have come from other teams and been part of other championships, myself with the Aqua Skiers, myself with Mad City, Team USA, and most of our members have not ever been on a podium, have never heard Badgerland called to win awards. This was an all-time high. It was pretty magical to be able to be part of that, and so we want to ride that, soak it in, live it, love it, but also not, be really humble that, okay, and now we get the opportunity to compete at that next level where we felt we really belonged. And that last year, being show directors, we were taken down a notch, but this year was like, no, this is where we belong. We want to redo this. We want to show what we're made of and get back. So
we worked very hard. A lot of countless hours. A lot of coordination. A lot of dry eraser boards. A lot of paper. We've just addressed every single issue and kind of starting over at the bottom and working our way up, and we're just going to claw our way to the top slowly and surely, and hopefully it doesn't take too long.
And I think last year too, like being D1, obviously without a site, we haven't had a jump team. We haven't had some of the individual talent, which a lot of teams have been regrowing since COVID, and we're working on that. But we were still doing some of the biggest pyramids that were in D1 last year. And this year we've lost some members due to injury and age and no site. And so we really tried to be a little bit more conservative, and it made it more about the show. And instead of, look, there's these several things we can still do at that level, we want our entire show as show directors to go off without a hitch and be that professional level of production. And Mad City is pretty much our idol and what we look to as that measure of success. And talking a lot with Jenny and Adam, we watch all of the tapes all of the time. And so that was more what we were hoping to show this year, is that there's a lot of behind the scenes work on that and have that theme component and a show that goes off with good flow.
Well, I had one of our one of our members come up to me after your show, and she said, I'm sure glad we're not competing in Badgerland for the production award. So you guys are definitely doing something right. Congratulations. That's awesome. So you had the production, obviously you've concentrated on. It was fantastic. What other things stood out in your show?
We really wanted to focus a lot on the box scores and flow. We felt we really needed those box scores to make that step. As you know, that can carry you in the podium or results. So that was really important, but the production was our biggest goal. We wanted to win production. We wanted to win sound. Like, those are really, really big for us. And obviously we have skiing that we can highlight, that we wanted to do. We're a little disappointed with one part of our show, but you know, it was a great show, and we're really happy with it, and we're proud of our team, and we're going to keep moving forward, and we're excited to go to D2 Nationals and show that act that we didn't quite get.
Yeah, we were going to ask. That's how we're going to wrap up today. D2 Nationals. So you guys are going to go. You're going to go to Shawano. And what are your expectations there? You just going to have fun? You playing to win? What's your hopes?
Yeah, so what Neil was talking about. So we've been really like sticking a big act for pre-built, something that nobody else has been doing, double tops, and it's been making it. And we were so pumped to bring that to the beach and have people on their feet for it. And that was the one thing that really fell short outside of just a couple of minor snafus. And so we want to bring that to nationals and show everybody like, hey, we can do this. It's pretty cool. We've been working hard on that a lot. Yeah, we're obviously hoping to carry through and look for a championship there, but even more so, we want to incorporate some of our other skiers that, you know, maybe we're waiting a little bit for state because it was such a big deal, add a couple of things to our show and, you know, be a little bit less conservative and a little bit more send it, just because we've been working hard all season and there's a lot of people we want to get into that show, but certainly still gunning for a championship. And we know that Shawano, who is amazing and outstanding and bigger than we are at this point in time, and have some of those jump and barefoot components, it's their home site. So we realize like they're not going to be messing around either, but we're really excited to compete against them again and have them push us, right? I think we talked this year about how that top of D2 competition was tough, like almost even more so than just trying to hang in D1, try to win D2. So it really meant a lot to compete against, you know, teams like the Aqua Skiers with their barefoot and Central Wisconsin with their numbers, and especially Shawano. And we were very pleasantly surprised that those things that we've stuck to, that we've worked on, kind of carried us through, and just so incredibly grateful and humbled and excited to do it again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to you guys. Way to go. Awesome state championship. Best of luck to you at D2 Nationals. Thanks for being on the show today. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you so much for having us.
You got it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to you all,
to
too.
you guys also.
Thank you. We appreciate
you.
that. We appreciate that. Well, Adam, before we get to D1, let's talk a little bit about Flyman skis. They were everywhere at state. We are seeing more and more people riding Flyman at every tournament.
That's right. As you know, these skis are made by skiers for skiers, and they are fully customizable and they're affordable. Jump skis come in honeycomb, and the featherboards come in different sizes to suit each athlete.
Yeah, so many people have made the move to Flyman skis, and you should too. Get yours at flymanskis.com. That's flymanskis.com. All right, well, let's talk about the results from Division I at Wisconsin State. As we mentioned, perfect conditions for all teams all weekend. Fantastic shows from a lot of teams who have dealt with high water issues. All in all, an amazing state weekend. The Rock Aqua Jays took home best dock and equipment, pickup boats, barefoot act, and doubles. Mad City Ski Team won Best Ballet, Best Pyramid, Best Comedy, Best Production, Best Showmanship, Best Towboat Driving, Best Sound and Audio. The Waterbugs won Best Jump, Aquanauts Best Swivel. The most unique act was Shermalot Tandem Girls Act. The Individual showmanship award went to Amy Laughlin of the Aquanuts. She was fabulous on stage, sang a couple of songs. Man, does she have a killer voice. Loved seeing that. Best trick skier, Nathan Fedorowicz of Shermalot. A lot of great trick skiers out there. Best male skier of the tournament, Noah Leach from the Waterbugs. He won Best D2 male at Nationals last year. Best male skier at state this year. He's on a roll. Best female, Sarah Fedorowicz from Shermalot. She is just on the rise. Kudos to her. And in the team event, first place with a score of 1870 was the Mad City Ski Team. Second place, Rock Aqua Jays had 1827. Third place, Aquanuts had 1521. The Web Footers were in fourth place with a score of 1496, and Shermalot placed fifth at 1447. Great stuff all around. So much awesome action in Division 1. But now it is time for us to talk to the winning show directors for the Division 1 state champion Mad City Ski Team. This is going to be a fun one for us, Adam. Obviously, these are our teammates. This is my son. Let's welcome to the show the Mad City show directors, Jack Heilman, Abby Kothe, and Cody Jaworski. Congrats, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
As if we don't talk enough, but congratulations, guys. Tell us, I mean, we talked, Matt and I talked a little bit about this already, but, what was the feeling going into awards on Sunday?
I can kind of get us started.
Yeah, go ahead, Abby.
Okay. I would say that going into state weekend, we knew how special our team was and how the possibilities that we had for this weekend. And I think then after our show, we were a little bit disappointed and we had more falls than we were hoping for, but also know that our stage crew does such an incredible job, and our skiing talent just enhances what they do on the stage, but a little bit disappointed in how we skied and hoping that we could do a little bit better. So I think going into awards, we didn't really, personally, I don't think I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was hoping that we would win certain awards, but wasn't really expecting to take first. And so kind of that uneasy feeling of not really sure what to expect, but also ready to just be excited for whatever happened.
I want to back up. Adam asked you how you were feeling at awards. How were you feeling the night before when you went to bed after watching the Rock Aqua Jays ski a show with 6 falls? Jack, how were you feeling when you went to bed that night after watching their show?
I would say it definitely got in some people's heads a little bit. I mean, Janesville stood up one of the best shows I've seen at the state tournament. I mean, single-digit falls, having only 6 falls with all the big stuff they threw out there. It was truly an awesome show. So it definitely had us a bit nervous, and knowing we had to be on our A game to beat a show like that.
Cody, I want to ask you, obviously, like Adam said, we all talk all the time, but as you guys looked at this year's team and you've kind of set up the team for success, what's the recipe to put this team in a position to succeed? What have you guys really focused on with this year's show in terms of kind of that recipe for success?
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge for us. Beginning of the year, we knew we had a ton of talent going into the year. We knew that if we weren't going to do well, it'd really be on the 3 of us. Getting everyone as much ski time as possible so they can practice the extremely difficult stuff that we're asking them to do was the main goal of ours.
I'd also jump in and say it's been a balance of kind of both too, like finding time to work on difficult jumps, difficult swivel stuff, difficult barefoot, as well as trying to throw out bigger team things as well, like a big opening pyramid, ballet, end pyramid, big act, like kind of balancing all those things has been key for us.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something that all the small teams are going to like, woe is me, stop complaining. It's not really a complaint, but when you've got 65-ish skiers, 65 to 70 skiers, to your point, when you practice individual jump, 60 people are standing around on shore, or you got to find things for them to do. Or when you're practicing balancing the team acts with the individual stuff and getting people enough water time is a challenge. And I think you guys have done a really good job of that. Practices have been super organized, and I think the trajectory has been good in part because of your organization and planning on that end. When you came into this and you looked at what you expected out of our show, how it turned out, what do you feel were like the strengths of our show? And when we got done, what did we do great? What went well with the show? What stood out?
I would say personally, I think our stage, I already mentioned that, but our stage is such an incredible part of our show, and they really, no matter what happens on the water, they will carry us through. And then I also think that Mad City has such a great team environment, and so no matter what happens on the water, if we ski a no-fall show, if we crash and burn in every act, like, we're going to have energy, we're going to be cheering each other up. No matter what the situation is, everyone's going to come to the beach cheering, and on the water, like, we made our 4 prefabs and we're all screaming on the water, just so excited for each other. You can see off of like third dock, the whole dock is on their feet, standing, cheering for each other. It just feels like as a team, we do a really good job of staying excited, cheering each other up, never letting each other get down on themselves if something doesn't go their way. So I just think Mad City is a really great family to be a part of, and I think that that's been something that's been helping us be successful this year.
I'll add to that. Our ballet group was incredible this year. They've been working really hard on dances since pretty much January and getting as much time on the water as possible, and they threw down.
Yeah, and I'll jump on that. In addition to our awesome stage and ballet group, I will say our towboats and pickup boat crew had a flawless show. I mean, like, genuinely, I think there were 0 mistakes made, and so I'm really glad we were recognized with Best Towboat Crew as well, because they really drove an awesome and super difficult show. Patterns were tight, boat speeds were awesome. They did a great job as well.
Yeah, and you guys put them, you ask a lot of them, right, with tandem pulls, staggered pulls, different backbreakers, multi-boat patterns. Like, you guys ask a lot of that boat crew, and pubs are needing to be in the right position to pick up skiers from a backbreaker, to pick up skis, to run people to the barge. Like, you really ask a lot of those people, and they did an awesome job.
Yeah, and I will say this, thank you for giving, props to the stage, the production crew, which there's only really 5 of us, they're fantastic. But what people need to realize is the boat driving and the flow and the skiing is what makes stage successful. Without good flow, without having a show coordinator like Wendy, the timing of the stage is just something that's critical, and that's what really makes our stage show so good, is all of the other elements that go into it besides just what you see on stage.
For sure. I mean, we try and have 60 minutes of like entertaining water skiing and stage, and so our goal in our show this year is we never want someone looking to see what's next and wondering when the next boat will come, and I feel like that really helps get us that first place trophy. Despite having a few falls, we really kept people engaged the entire time.
Yeah,
and we used all of that 60 minutes.
No joke. And Adam and I have talked about this before, and there's, production is more than just your theme. Okay, your theme is your storyline and characters and that, but production to me is the bigger picture of how it flows and transitions from stage to water and back to stage, and the intricate timing of that. You can tell shows that spend time on figuring that out versus sort of just winging it and the announcer having to cut off a skit because the skiing's there, or the skit gets done and they still have to fill for another minute because the act isn't ready. It's that intricate timing and flow from stage to water and back to stage that we've historically put a tremendous amount of time in, and that's cooperation among you as show directors, Wendy as show coordinator, and Adam as show writer and show producer on stage. That takes a lot of work. Abby, can you speak to that a little bit? You've got a lot of experience now in show directing. What goes behind that, and how does that all fit together?
Yeah, I think also having someone like you, Matt, on our team has been very beneficial. We, at the beginning of the year, our show was quite long. And so all of a sudden, without having a Merc this year, we didn't have a tournament to kind of get the timing set and do all those practices that we do at the beginning of the year. So all of a sudden it came to be like 2-3 weeks before state, and we're running a 70-minute show. And so just being able to sit down and really focus on specific chunks of our show. So then when we go to practices, we would say, okay, we're going to do our chunk from montage to big act, because that's the biggest portion of our show. And so saying, okay, Wendy, we need to start noticing, like, are there an extra 10 seconds here that we can cut down? Or Adam, where are our fills? Like, where are there spots in our fills where we can take a few seconds off? And just kind of being able to know exactly what timing we need. And then as all of a sudden state started getting closer and we were still a few minutes over, Matt looking at our show and saying, 2 years ago, this is what our timing was, because we have such a show that goes right to that last second. What are our points in the show where we're thinking, okay, we're doing really well on timing. Oh, we're getting a little bit nervous, and oh shoot, we really need to start thinking about what we can do differently. And I think that that's a really good thing to do. And maybe teams that don't do that, that could be something that you start to do in the future, of just noticing, for us, like if we have a certain time at big act that we haven't taken off the dock, no matter what the timing is, we need to start telling people, okay, we really need to be hustling. Or like this year we started to run out of time a little bit at the end of our show. And so we made the contingency ahead of time and said, if we're running short, we're going to cut this costume change or whatever it might be, which we ended up having to do this year. But I think being able to go back and look at the timing and looking at every single practice that we've done, every single show this year and last year and previous years, and just starting to have that communication with boat drivers, with Adam, with our show coordinator, Wendy, and the four of us as 3 show directors and Matt as well, just being able to really understand the exact second that we need to be at to be successful, I think is something that helped our team finish in 60 minutes this year.
And that all changes because now because Nationals got moved to Warsaw, that's a smaller site. So timing essentially, I'm not saying you start over, you're starting from scratch, but it's different, right? That show course that lake is smaller. And so what are you guys going to do now that, state is over and you're looking ahead to Nationals? How are you going to adjust for that different site?
I would say one of our... Or you go for it, Cody.
All right. First thing we're going to do, one of the small benefits to Law Park is that we can adjust where we have buoys set and kind of create the different sites at our site. So we're going to start practicing smaller patterns, tighter patterns. Hopefully this Sunday at our home show we can practice a Warsaw-sized tournament site and start getting a better idea of the timing that we're going to have when we make it down to Warsaw.
I'll add on to that. I would say our state show, we're looking at things to cut out at our end of our show if we were out of time or in danger. And I think at Warsaw, we might have the advantage of we can maybe rerun these things at the end of our show should they fall, which is definitely helpful. And then also working with Adam, who I think is the best in the world at what he does. He's able to add to fills, trim from fills, make changes on the fly. It makes our jobs immensely easier. So working with Adam also is just incredible.
You guys have talked about, a lot of things here. One of the things that I think people have noticed with our show this year, like production we've been typically strong in, is we have more talent. We've got more homegrown talent. We've got rising stars. Talk about your ability to incorporate that talent within the show and utilize people's ability and how that's enhanced this year's version of Mad City.
I'll say we've benefited a lot from this kind of skill growth we've been pushing over the last 5 years, which has been kind of let's build up our jumpers and our swivelers and our barefooting, and I think we're starting to reap the benefits of that. We have a lot of homegrown talent that took on huge roles in our championship this past weekend. We had Gabby Tash and Nolan Walters and Matt Strode, all who have worked really hard and skied here and then went pro and came back, which was super helpful to add them this year. We also have, Derek Buckman, Carter Buckman, Cale Duquesne, those guys are all immensely talented, and being able to kind of plug and play them into any act and them being so versatile has been awesome. And then we've also built some skills from people who have stayed in Madison the past however many years. You got Abby, you have Brooklyn, you have Presley, you have Parker, me, Cody. Like, there's so many others I'm forgetting, but kind of pushing all that skill growth and having people willing to jump into anything, or we have an idea and we say, can you guys execute it on the water? And they say, yep. Like, that's been awesome to work with, and having people that are willing to try stuff that hasn't been done or is super difficult.
I was going to say, I think something that's really cool about our team too is that everyone wants each other to succeed. So once a week, usually we have our skill night where we will do, usually it's swivel and jump. Sometimes it'll be barefoot or around the boat or doubles, whatever it might be. And our team just does a really good job of showing up to those practices. And like, even if Derek or Carter aren't able to ski that night, they will still come down and they'll ride in a boat and they'll help teach jump, or, we'll have swivelers go sit in a boat and teach each other and coach each other on, like, these are the little things that we could do differently. So I think that we have been really blessed to have that ability with just the skills that we have on our team and the willingness to help coach and the drive to want to get better.
As this is a state tournament recap, right? So I'm assuming from your perspective as show directors, the goal going in was to put on the best show possible and to try to win a state championship. And that came to fruition. And as you guys have talked a lot about how you structure things and build the show and strengths of the team and how you utilize those strengths, which is really awesome, especially for young leaders like you, like people listening to this. These are sharp young leaders. And what's the game plan now from state to nationals, and what's the goal, and what does that look like in terms of the show moving forward?
Probably the main thing is polish up what we were struggling with. A lot of the stuff that did fall and struggle at state, it's high difficulty stuff. We can get everyone more reps and help them out there, as well as grow at what we have. Hopefully we can go up, increase the number of prefabs we have, increase the size of opening pyramid, hopefully increase the size of ending pyramid. I think we'll be pushing the limits of Indiana, but I think we'll be able to turn that corner with an even bigger ender, get even more in big act, grow as much as we can while still executing at the level I know we can do.
And I'll add, I feel like winning state, there's a little bit of a target on our back now. We skied a pretty awesome show, and
a little bit of a target, just a little one.
Yeah. But we listened to your kind of season preview of all the teams, and there are tons of teams outside of the Wisconsin region that are also going to be at nationals and have awesome shows. Some teams have even skied in Warsaw already this year, so we got to be ready to bring our A game and ski a clean show, because there's 5 to 10 teams that could take home that trophy in 3 weeks, so we just got to be on top of it.
Yeah, and it's probably your expectation that if we skied the exact same show at state as we do at nationals, that may not be good enough as people are continuing to improve or execute better. And so your sights are set, like Cody said, on growing things and then increasing execution and continuing to thrive in the things that we do. So, well, I want to congratulate you three, as I said, young leaders. People think, and I wrote about this on Facebook, like we're a perennial powerhouse, and people think the perception is that we win a lot. And this is our first championship since 2019. Abby, you were show director when we won nationals in 2019. And it's been a while. We got through COVID. We worked on building some skill, and we've been right there. We've been second place, like we've been the bridesmaid almost every time. But this is the first championship we've gotten to enjoy in a long time, and so I want to congratulate you guys on putting the team in that position for success. And you guys have done a phenomenal job, and you guys should pat yourselves on the back and enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adam, you have anything left for these show directors?
Oh, I have a lot left for these show directors, but we're not gonna talk about it on the podcast. We got 3 weeks till nationals. We got to enjoy it last night, but now it's pedal to the metal for the next 3 weeks.
It's go time, isn't it? Go time. Yep, it's going to be a fun one. Thank you guys for being on the show. Congratulations to you, all of our teammates, for a great state championship. What an awesome state weekend. And again, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank
Thanks for having
you.
us on.
You got it. Well, Adam, that was a fun episode today. Hearing from all the championship show directors, this is fun every year when we do this, because you hear the different stories, and some are surprised, some set it out as a goal, some have different challenges. It's really fun to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of skiing, I think they announced how many rides there were. It was like over 3,000. Clearly the largest water ski tournament in the world. It's just super fun. The weather was awesome. It wasn't a year where I felt my life was in danger due to severe weather, which was fantastic. The aqua skiers do a phenomenal job of hosting that caliber of a tournament. I mean, to have all of those people show up at that site and they're on top of it. With the changes they made to the skiers area this year was tremendous. The food, the burgers in the beer tent are always fantastic, and things were so smooth this year. The awards, having D3, D2, D1 awards all Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's getting smoother and smoother every year that they do it, and it just makes the tournament that much better. So thank you so much to the aqua skiers. Thank you to all the officials. You guys did a great job. I mean, it was so smooth this year. It really was.
Yeah, what an awesome tournament. So many people that play a role in it. What a great weekend. Congratulations to the Plum Ski-ters for winning Division 3, to Badgerland for winning Division 2. Can't wait to see you guys back in D1. And congratulations to Mad City on Division 1 state championship. Kudos to all the teams this weekend. Killer skiing, awesome themes, great stuff. Show skiing's in a great place. If you were at state this weekend, you know how great show skiing is and how fun that is. Thank you to Flyman Skis, custom-made jump skis, featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. Get yours at flymanskis.com. Thank you to the Board Shop, located in Lake Geneva. All your summer and winter board sports gear is yours at bswake.com. Got a couple more regionals left on tap. The Midwest region, the Eastern region, they've got their tournaments this coming weekend. And then it's on to nationals. D2 nationals in Shawano, D1 in Warsaw. We can't wait to recap all the awesome events from nationals.
And of course, thanks again to all of our listeners and viewers. This is Matt and Adam, and this is The Ski Show.
Thank you for listening to The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast with Matt and Adam. If you have questions or ideas for the show, find us on social media or message us at theskishowpodcast@gmail.com.